Hi, guys, and welcome. We're going to be streaming just now, and we're going to be taking you through to the SARCO racing community. So we're going to be doing the Reynolds tonight. So if you are joining, you're going to be joining us soon.
Good to have somebody to beat on track once again.
We'll see.
So, gentlemen, this first corner is an absolute nightmare. As we've seen some of the replays, please be cautious and then be extra cautious. With 28 laps, there's lots of time to make your move. Enjoy it. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready, and we'll go into our 10-minute practice.
Control not allowed. Okay.
Eh?
Stability control, moet dit aan wees?
Oh, it's changed. Okay, hold on. But thanks for checking. I can update that.
I must ask.
No, you must, because clearly you're using it.
Ek weet, ek gebruik automatic gearshock, so ek moet kyk of dit aan is.
The force manual gears is no.
Okay, okay.
Full damage is yes.
Okay, dankie.
Force manual pit stops, tires accelerated, fuel depletion is yes, force cooldown is no, save. Right, gentlemen, 10-minute qualifying, 10-minute practice, here we go.
Enjoy.
Dankie, dankie.
Yes, jammer oor alles.
Welkom by ons. Julle is nou tussen die manne met die trille nou.
Dat dik trille van Sinnebelle.
Wat is ons nou weer Tolly Tossers racing?
Nee, Tolly Tossers rukkers. Ja, dit is Tolly Tossers is verkeerd. Ek het nie gesê julle is tossers nie. Ek het net gesê Tolly Tosser racing.
Okay.
So, as you heard, and I'm just going to make sure that everybody got that, we're actually out in Germany this weekend, and we want to just welcome you on board. If you are watching the live stream, welcome to the SARCO online racing community. And we're going to be taking you, it's round 2, and we're in Germany, and obviously the guys are out there giving their all at the moment, doing a bit of testing. I can tell you the conditions are quite cloudy at the moment, and I'm sure it's going to get a little bit dark out for the guys there, and they're going to be enjoying themselves. So welcome if you are joining us live on our stream. That's the South African Racing Community Online. Event number 2 for the Renault RS 01s, and we're gonna just thoroughly enjoy having you on board with us this evening, and taking you through the practice session, then on to the qualifications, and then the main event. and we'll be taking you through every step of the way. Currently on board with Mal, and yeah, I think we're going to be enjoying a bit of the racing taking place. There are some guys still in the pits. Here's Ash taking us through the paces as well, so we'll be watching very carefully what's actually taking place there, and you know, we're going to be enjoying ourselves this evening through this event. So yeah, hopefully you can see exactly what's going on, and we'll keep you abreast with the racing and what's actually taking place here this evening in Germany. It looks a bit sunny, so let's have a look. We've just seen Quicksilver lap time was invalid, so obviously he was not doing the right thing, but we'll keep an eye on Quicksilver and see what's going on there. It looks as though Bruno has stepped up and taken care of business that side, so we'll be pretty much having a look at what he's up to. Bruno taking the top spot at the moment. So, oops, let's just put you back in the scenes, and hopefully here we are on board with Bruno at the moment, setting the quickest time at the moment on this particular track of 1 minute and 23 seconds. We've got 5 minutes left, approximately 5 minutes left on this particular session, so we'll take you through and obviously give you all of the data that we can. Here's Marius, obviously taking it easy this evening, right there in second place on the practice round, 1 minute 24 414. Currently, as I said, we've got around about 5 minutes left of this particular practice session. And if I look there, Mal has gone down a little bit. He's obviously in car number 6 there. Sorry, he's in car number... Yeah, I think it is number 6. Let me just make sure. Yep, it is car number 6. So, yeah, thrashing it through there this evening, and obviously we're going through. We have Ross. Let's just pop on board with Ross this evening. He's in car number 2 this evening. On this championship round 2 event, and yeah, they'll be flying this evening, making sure they obviously want to get into that practice session, get those hard slicks nice and warm. Track temperature around about 14 degrees Celsius. There is a slight southwest wind. Forecast is clear, and yeah, they'll be looking to obviously push out the pace, get everything going, and then obviously take each other through their paces this evening. Ice sitting sweet there. He's in car number 17, and we got about 3 minutes left of this practice session. Then we go into qualifications, and we'll see what's going on. Mal dropping down to 6th place on the practice, so lost a bit of time, but we'll have a look. Ash is in 7th place at the moment, and yeah, let's have a look and see what he's busy doing. His tires are a little bit cold, and hopefully he gets those slicks up and running quite quickly. Obviously we want to see what's happening there. Let's have a look. Popping down quickly to I think it's Colin. Yep, it is, and he's obviously just coming through start finish in car number 19, so we'll be seeing through there. Dupe, no time as yet, so we'll be seeing what he's doing in car number 42 this evening, and obviously having a look at exactly what he's up to. And then Dylan is on track. No, he's not. Here he comes right now. Speak of the devil himself, car number 39, racing for the Green Mambas this evening. So we'll be seeing what he's up to, and let's hopefully he can put up a time. He's got basically 2 minutes to do so. So let's see if he can put some time on there. And if I look at Turbo Carl in car number 15 at the moment, he's just popped up into first, number 1 on the practice. Currently car number 15 So we'll be looking out for Turbo Charles as well as Bruno this evening, and let's see if Ross in 4th position comes up with something special to see if he can topple that top spot this evening here in Germany. As I mentioned, track conditions round about 14 degrees Celsius. There is a slight southwesterly wind, and yeah, the ambient temperature is around about 12 degrees, so we'll be pushing to see. It looks as though yep, Ross is on the track at the moment. We're busy taking some good shots of him driving around in car number 2 at the moment, and as you can see, his tires are pretty cool. A little bit off there, I think, because he's got little traction, but let's see if we can warm that up and get that going. And Marius, nice job from him. He's now in the pits, so let's go out and see. Also pitting there, we've got 1 minute to go. Everybody's basically on board and looking at what's taking place at the moment. So let's go back out onto the track. We're on board with car number 15 here at the moment, and tires are nice and warm. They're under the correct operating conditions. 51 seconds left in this particular round, so let's have a look and see what's going down, and see if he can post a better time than what he's currently sitting at 1 minute and 24 seconds. So no real difference between the top 3 there. Pretty close on par there. If I look at Turbo Charles at 1:22.482, and then down to Bruno, who's sitting at a 1:22.921, and then Marius there sitting in 1 minute 23.54 seconds. So there is a little bit of a space to get in there. See if they can actually achieve and cut that down. 8 seconds left of this practice session. Then we go into qualifications, and then a little bit out there against the wall. Even with the tires nice and warm, it did seem as though lost a little bit there. Ice out on the track, and let's see what he's up in car number 17. So if you are rooting for these guys this evening, make sure that you post us some comments in the comments column, as well as how you're liking this channel, and also hit the like button. Subscribe today for the South African racing community online, and also go to the Facebook page, and you can see exactly how to join the community, get involved, and thoroughly enjoy some great racing that's on offer in South Africa. So we'll be looking forward to having you on board. And you know, we're looking for drivers. We're looking to fill the community, as we said, and get the guys involved. We've got basically around about 30 seconds until this session ends, and so bear with us. We'll be back shortly to start off with the qualifications, as we have a look at who's going to be number 1 this evening, who's going to take control, who's going to be up and about, and
sandbag.
So we do have some drivers joining us, not only in South Africa, but even though it is a South African championship, so we have some international drivers with us, and we're going to rock it here this evening. So stay tuned. We'll be back shortly, and bringing you the qualifications of this round 2 in Germany. As I mentioned, we are going to be looking at the track conditions, keeping you up to date, as well as giving you notice on who's sitting where and ready to go. So, quali's out, still ambient temperature 24 degrees Celsius, and let's see who's on the track at the moment. It looks as though Ash is out, as well as them climbing to get out to make sure there's not going to be no blockages to make that qualifying time happen. And I tell you what, the racing is going to be on this evening. to see who's going to be the top dog here this evening. So yeah, some of the guys obviously just pushing themselves out a little bit early. You can see the warnings coming out on the track as well. So basically, if I have a look, 27 litres in that motor vehicle at the moment. They're going to be looking at trying to put on the best possible time for this event. You can see trying to get those tires warmed up. 13 seconds, 13 minutes into this qualification round. So the guys are going to be going flat out to try and ensure they have the best possible chance of taking pole this evening. And you can see already somebody's being pressed. I think it is probably Ash there getting pressed and getting taken on this particular sector here. So waiting for the first times to come up. Bear with us, guys. We're going to give you the best we can and also the best views of who's doing what in the track at the moment. So let's go down to Turbo Charles. Obviously first in the practice, so he's going to be looking at a little bit of a bumpy there in car number 15, Turbo Charles. Let's see what he's capable of putting up this evening and see where he's standing. Is he going to take pole position this evening, or is he going to have that stiff competition coming from Bruno? I'm sure the guys have been practicing this week to see who's going to be top dog for this Renault RS 01 challenge this evening. Tyres still a little bit cold. It is clear but a little bit overcast, so you know, we'll be watching the weather conditions. I'm sure it's going to get even cloudier than that. As you can see, tyres starting to warm up, and that's the whole thing. You've got to keep those tyres nice and warm, and obviously keep things going, and obviously making sure these cars are suited for the track this evening. So we'll be taking a look and having a look who is putting on the quickest times at the moment. At the moment, it doesn't seem anybody's coming up with a particular time. Let's hope that changes in the next couple of seconds, and we can see who is going to be taking pole here at the South African Racing Community Online racing series this evening. We're going to be watching very carefully. There is a time that has been posted, and that is Marius up in pole position currently. Just behind him, Doopy. Then behind him, it looks as though it is Colin. That's just changed. Ice has just pushed himself up into second spot. And then there we go. Bruno at the moment right to the top of the pile there at a 1 minute and 23 second at the moment. So obviously we'll be watching him and seeing what's going on there. He's doing a bit of a wheel spin just to show his dominance on that 1 minute. I think a bit of a celebration going on there. So yeah, we'll be looking quite carefully. It looks like it's Bruno actually that's got that car standing a bit still, but we'll go on with Turbo Charles to see. He's just taken that particular top spot right now at 1 minute 23.087, so much faster in this particular round than he was on the practice round. So tires still a little bit cool on the left side. Let's see, oh sorry, on the right side, so hopefully you can get those nice and warm and keep it going. All the guys posting times at the moment. If I can give you just a quick run through at the moment, it looks as though we have a 1:23.087. That's from Turbo Charles. Then Marius into a 1:23.412. Then Dupe, very nice time from him in third spot at the moment, slightly behind the pace there at 1.23892. And then Ice coming in fourth position at the moment on the grid. He's going to be at 1:24. So Ross dropped down to 1:24.264, and then obviously we have the rest of the guys just lining up. So the guys to watch out. 9 minutes left, so there is still some time to make a difference on the grid positions for this evening. So we'll be watching that intensely and making sure that obviously we keep our eye on who is going to be the top dog this evening on this particular track. Let's go down and have a look. We have, for instance, Dylan out on track at the moment. He's put in a 127, and I spoke to him a little bit earlier, and he said to me, you know, obviously some practice needed, so I hope that's not going to affect his race too much this evening. But yeah, I think determination will show this evening to see where he is going to be going with this particular race. As I said, no change in the top three at the moment. Ice coming there. It looks as though Ross number 5 at the moment, so let's see if that continues. Or is somebody... Yes, there we go. It looks as though Ice has come back, but I think it's actually OSI who's pushed up there and taken care of business to put in a 1 minute. So he's moved up nicely into, I think that's Quicksilver. Quicksilver moving up the roster there into 3rd spot on his attempt at a 1 minute 23.790. The tires are obviously a little bit cool in that particular car, but here at the moment we're busy online with Quicksilver making a difference, keeping those tires nice and warm, and he's up into 3rd spot. So great stuff from him currently taking place. So that's fantastic. Car number 15, and we'll be watching, I think that's his teammate Turbo Shaw there making a difference as well, and he's also car number 15. So we'll keep our eyes out and peeled and to see where these guys are landing up. It looks like Mario's back in the pits. I'm sure he's making some adjustments to get out there, obviously to topple that top position, as he's currently sitting in 2nd place. So he may be making some adjustments, talking to the crew to see what they can do. So very much interested in what's going down this evening here on the South African racing community online. And remember to have a look at our Facebook page. Also, some information just for you is the preferred gig is the Thrustmaster. So if you are looking for a good rig, make sure that you look at the Thrustmaster. Some great rigs from them coming out, and I'm sure you will find passion in driving and steering in a Thrustmaster setup. So get involved, come and have a look at our Facebook page on the South African racing community online, and if you are interested in getting into this type of racing, please give us get into contact with us. Dylan, one of the founders, would be delighted to hear from you, and why don't you make that contact, and also if you are watching this live stream, like this page. This is brought to you every Thursday, and we'll take you through the racing on the series at the moment. Next week it is the BMW series, so don't forget to join us for that particular staging of the Grand Prix, and you can join us and watch what's going on, and obviously having a look at that. And I'll give you what the current standings are. If you just give me a second or two, we'll have a look and see where we are when it comes to the standings on this particular format, and I'll take you through that particular session as we go along here this evening. So hopefully you're enjoying it. We've got 5 minutes left of the qualification, and we'll take you through the steps taking place here this evening, and as well as give you some more information with regards to what's happening in round 2 here in Germany. I did mention obviously 12 degrees ambient temperature. I did also mention we've got 12 degrees, 14 degrees on the track temperature. We do have a slight wind coming out northeast now, and it's about 3 kilometers now. That will have some effect on the actual racing this evening. So if we have a look currently at the standings, it will give us an indication of what's actually taking place. and I'll be bringing you that news as soon as I have that at hand with me at the moment. So if we look at the current standings taking place, top dog is Charles. He is currently sitting on 18 yep, I think it is 18 points at the moment, or 15 points at the moment, closely followed I'm actually trying to just have a great a view of this at the moment. There we go, that's much better. Now I can actually see what's going on. So let me have a look who is leading at the moment, and give you some of the times of what. Yeah, as I mentioned, Charles is leading the pack at the moment with 65 points, and then second it looks like Silverback Racing, it's Bruno. And I don't know, yes, Bruno is back with us. He's sort of popped into third place while I was busy updating you. So Bruno, obviously from Silverback Racing, is now 51 points. We then have Doopy from Flat Rabbit Racing. He is currently at 52 points. So just to give you, Ross from Fad Muckers, the Fad Mucker boys are at in 35 points at the moment, and then obviously we're going down to Dirk, who's on the Tusco, and they are basically sitting at 28 points. So those are the top dogs on this particular session of racing this evening. Hopefully you're catching up with us and following what's actually taking place here on the South African racing community online. So if you just joined us, that was a bit of a mix-up from Quicksilver. Lost it totally, obviously just gone straight back to the track, picked up a bit of damage there, and a whoopee slide. He just made it, probably completely totaled that particular vehicle. Or was that Marius, I wonder? I think it probably might have been Marius. I think it was Marius. I do apologize, Quicksilver. Even though I nearly put you off the track there, so that obviously wasn't looking too good. They got 1 minute and 11 seconds to go, so we'll be watching carefully what's taking place. But top dogs this evening, as I mentioned, Turbo Charles, Bruno, Marius Dupe, looks like Ross, then Quicksilver, Ice, Dylan, Ash, it looks like Mal, then Colin, then BA. I think that stands for bad attitude, but we'll keep with that. And then we'll take you through the racing as we follow this evening. So great to have you on board, and hopefully, here we go, Bruno out in car number 7, 32 seconds left. So I don't know if he's trying to sneak one in there over the Turbo Charles at the moment, and try and get himself into number 1 pole position. That's what he's going for. And just to give you a squeeze on the times there, 122, 123, 123, 123. So very close racing from the top, I would say the top 6 drivers this evening. So this is going to be really close racing, and we're so glad that you're joining us live for this event for the South African racing community online. So as I mentioned, do us a favor, like us on this channel, make sure you're watching us week in and week out. 61 seconds to go to the end of qualification. Obviously the process will be going through a 1 minute session just to get everybody back and ready for racing here. The gauntlet has been set down by Turbo Charles, Closely second in by Bruno, and then Marius, Dupe, Ross,
Dis die
Quicksilver,
konstante wat
Ice, Dylan, Mal, Ash, Colin, BA,
Hy is 'n konstante.
and that is
Wel,
the
ek het nie die woord
lineup
gebruik
in the 12 drivers joining us this evening. So 21 seconds left of this qualification, and
Nee, ek
then
het maar
we're
gekom
going to
omdat
be a
ek
go.
'n man is in my kakvuis, al hoekom ek hier is.
So we're all getting ready to go, get ourselves set up for this evening's race. A couple of seconds and we'll be racing. So we'll be watching out for who the top dogs are here this evening. I'm probably talking over these guys, so hopefully you can hear me nice and clearly. And we'll obviously get set, ready, and match is on. And you can see
Let's go,
there,
gentlemen.
Turbo
We'll be going
Shaw,
into
Bruno,
the
and as I
2-minute
said,
holding
Marius
lobby.
there, Dupe,
Just make sure your
Doopy, obviously
correct setup has
TTR
been
there,
selected.
and those are your
And,
top three
you
drivers at the
have
moment.
your
So I'm just going to
required
make
pit
sure
strategy selected.
that I push the retire button.
I'm still holding my peace.
Yes, and then obviously go into the monitor, and then we can join these guys on the track. So we should be up and live, waiting for the lights, and they'll be going. As you can see, the tires are in perfect condition at the moment. Right temperature, slight change in the temperature, 13 degrees. The track has moved up to 16 degrees Celsius. There is still that wind of round about 3 kilometers an hour. And forecast for the race is clear but overcast, and fuel in each of the cars probably about 71 liters. This is racing, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to be watching the conditions for this evening. Everybody readying up and ready to go.
Right, gentlemen, enjoy the race. Mike's off. Let's go.
Couple of more seconds, just getting everybody ready, and we'll be pushing ourselves out, getting ourselves ready to go for this our second race of the season here at the track in Germany. As I mentioned, we're ready in a couple of minutes, couple of seconds. And they're away. Some close racing happening right now, and we want to try and keep on board with everybody, make sure that we are watching what's going on. Obviously, here they come into the first sector. Oh, a little bit of a ding dash there, and looks, oh, wow, some really hard racing from the guys at the moment. Currently looking back, Turbo Shaw dropping right back at the moment, so up with Bruno. Let's see what's happening with him at the moment. Both teammates, it looks like two teammates right out in front. That's Mario Bruno. Quicksilver closely behind at the moment. And yeah, that was quite exciting stuff into that first corner. Trying to squeeze all those cars through that particular sector. Really aggressive racing. Collins in fourth place at the moment. So yeah, up and about. The guys are going to be racing their hearts out now. If I look at the leader of the pack, obviously down at the moment, car out. Let's have a look what's going on there. He's got to get that car into the pits as soon as possible and obviously get himself back into this race. So, as I mentioned, leading the pack at the moment is Bruno. Some great driving from him, closely followed by Marius. And yeah, how are they going to do this evening? That is the question. I mean, obviously last week's racing was pretty close. I'm sure this week's racing is going to be just as close this evening here on the South African racing community online. So be ready, be steady, and make sure you're making those comments as well as providing us some chat and some discussions to talk about this evening. So Yeah, great stuff happening right now as you're watching the leaders of this race at the moment. And obviously we're keeping a track on who's very fast at the moment, very much out in front, these two gentlemen. So as I mentioned, we'll be watching them. Quicksilver putting in a time of 1 minute 30. Obviously the fuel in the cars a lot greater at the moment. There is quite a bit of racing still to go here, and we're on lap 2, so we'll be watching closely what's going to be happening here this evening, and I'm sure you're going to be continuing to join us in our race overview this evening. So we'll be watching and seeing exactly what's happening, and giving you all the feedback we can based on what you can see right now. So yes, we are racing project cars too, and as I mentioned to you earlier, if you are interested in joining the community and participating in this type and form of racing, please get hold of us through the Facebook page, and you can see that coming up on the screen at the moment. That's the South African Racing Community Online. You can find that Facebook page and get in touch with Dylan, one of the founders, and we'll put you into one of the seats. Just make sure you have the format of the game, and you can see how exciting this can be. We're on with Quicksilver some distance behind. There is some close racing taking place between Colin and Ice at the moment. Obviously trying to get past. There is Dylan's already got a penalty at the moment, so we'll be watching what's happening quite around them this evening. Obviously having a look, there's old Dylan there right now, closing in or trying to close in on these two gentlemen who are doing exceptionally well. That is Quicksilver and Ice, and Colin in front of Dylan there. Duke slipped back quite badly, so yeah, he did quite well in the practice as well as the qualification, so we'll be seeing what's going on there. And then Ross slightly behind at the moment, but I'm sure he's going to be looking very strong to come back in this particular situation at the moment. So it looks as though Turbo Charles out of the race this evening. That is very sad to see. Or is he back on track? No, sorry, I do apologize. He's back on track. Here he comes out now. Obviously the front end a little bit damaged there, so he was in the pits. I thought maybe he had retired, so apologies to Turbo Charles. He's not giving up that easy. He's looking to come back, and obviously quite a bit of damage on that front end, as you can see there. So we'll see what he's going to be up to and bring it in. We're on lap number 4, and here the race leader still being, it looks like Bruno, really comfortable in that spot. We'll see maybe Mario saving a bit of tires, and we'll just pop on line with him back behind him to see what he's up to, and I'm sure he's going to be saving those tires and wanting to squeeze his way through. Obviously we've got a pit stop, so that is a mandatory pit stop, so the cars are going to be pitting anyway. But just looking at the fuel situation, everybody putting in a certain amount of fuel to make sure they get round this track, and probably midway or just beyond midway, or even halfway in some cases, some of these guys are going to be looking for that pit stop. It's going to be quite a technical pit stop to do in respect, because what they do know is the gaps that are being set at the moment are not that great. So there's not these long gaps like there were in the previous race. You can see the guys pretty much catching up. If I look at Quicksilver at the moment, he's obviously on form, coming back to make Marius and Bruno aware of exactly where he is on this track. So Dylan also closely followed behind at the moment. We do have some back markers coming through, so we'll be interested to see. Here we go, some great racing going on right here between these guys. So let's just pop down to Ice and see where he is coming in, and obviously you can see his forming and pulling back on that particular situation. So there's a whole bunch coming around, and so I'm sure Dylan's going to be watching what he needs to do to ensure that he keeps that car stable else he's going to lose that fourth spot. So very closely followed by these guys here, these three guys, that is Colin, Ice and Ross, looking to take over there. Oh, a bit of a nudge there. Hopefully not too much damage occurred, but this allows obviously a pass through there to come through. So obviously coming through quite nicely just on that little incident there. So we will continue, keep watching with Ross and see what's actually taking place with him. And obviously just behind him, some aggressive driving coming. Here we go into the corner, a little bit wide there. Ross coming through, and it looks as though Ice is hot on his tail, making sure that he sticks there and keeps himself. But it looks as though we had two violations on the track, 3 violations on the track, even from Marius, and it looks as though he's got another one. So this could be affecting the times that he's putting himself through at the moment. And yeah, let's go quickly up to where Marius is at the moment. Have a look at the situation there. Bruno's still far ahead at the moment, so comfortable in that position, gaining some sort of gap between himself and Marius at the moment. Quicksilver coming up, you can see him, eyes out front, making sure that he wants to be quite close in his racing at the moment. Here we're back with Dylan, and then let's have a look. These guys are having a gauntlet time trying to get through, making each other aware where they are on the track and obviously what they want to be doing. So it all looks good from our side, and we are really enthralled by what's actually taking place here. These guys are really pushing these Renaults to the limit to get through here in Germany. So those cloudy conditions, it's clear, but forecast is clear. The track conditions, ambient temperature of the track, 3 degrees Celsius, and then 16 degrees on track at the moment. So you can see by the tire combination there, they are cooling down, so the guys need to keep those nice and warm, and that's pretty difficult in these close-up conditions, because you're obviously screaming down, and then you've got to avoid cars in front of you as well, so you've got to be slowing down and trying to stay alive. A bit of crack on the windscreen there, as you can see from Quicksilver's car, so we'll be seeing what he's going to be doing, and hopefully trying to catch up to the forerunners in this particular race, and that's these two guys. That's right, that is Bruno, top of the log at the moment, in first place, then followed by Marius, and then you've got Quicksilver also pushing out those times. So he is slightly slower, 25 seconds, but one of those interesting points at the moment, I think Charles is battling a little bit. Dupe is also he's also down in 12th position at the moment. So we're just going to go back and have a look at what these guys, car number 42 there, Dupe. And then here is Turbo Charles. As you can see, a bit of damage on that car. So I think he's battling to get that speed up. And so BA, pretty constant in car number 4. He's sort of steady there on in 10th place at the moment. So we'll be also keeping an eye on him. And then Mal, yep, he's also in a steady 9th position at the moment. And then we go up to Ash at the moment, also just keeping it steady in car number 38. And then let's go up and see what's happening here in this area, because this is where the close racing is taking place at the moment. It looks as though it's Dylan in 4th position at the moment. It looks as though we have Quicksilver in car number 15. It looks as though those tires aren't keeping as warm as they should, so hopefully he's looking to keep those nice and warm and steady it through. So yeah, we'll see exactly what's going on. And let's go down to car number 5 at the moment, and you can see how close these guys are racing at the moment. So that's obviously Colin, Ice, as well as Ross pretty much close and bunched up at the moment, trying to fathom out what they're going to be doing. And I can see that Ice has stepped up. Oh, it looks as though there's a bit of a argy-bargy there because there was a car standing in the track and there was great avoidance happening there. So I don't quite know what happened there, but obviously that was pretty interesting to see that. And yep, oh, another bump slightly through. It looks as though Ross has taken a one-up on, it looks as though Ice. So he's come through there. He's got his mind set to go now for Colin. So we'll see what's actually taking place with him and Colin at the moment. You can see he's keeping it tight, pushing it through. Here it comes, very close driving, very competitive driving from these three. He's obviously indicating, there we go, I'm going to just make sure you know I am here. And I'm up for the challenge this evening to see what I can do and see if I can... yes, and here it comes. Nicely taken through there. It looks as though, yes, Ross has moved up into 5th position at the moment. He's down to 50 litres of fuel, so we'll be watching that quite carefully. It looks as though Ice is in the pits. Ice is in the pits, coming into the pits at the moment. I think this is his strategy. Come into the pits now, do what is necessary, and then see if he can then make it to the end of the race. I think that might be his strategy at the moment. So great racing from these guys. What you're watching, and if you've just joined us, welcome to the SARCO second event on the RS01 calendar. Remember that we do broadcast every Thursday night at 8 o'clock, and you can join us. Hit that like button, put in your comments. We're always glad to see comments coming through from you guys, and then obviously giving you an indication of what's going on. So yeah, thank you for a lot of the comments there. Yaku, Nutman, great stuff from you. Hello boys, and then obviously go Mambas. So that's great stuff there. So Bio Android, yeah, I think Logitech is also good. Yeah, I don't mind Logitech, but as I said, the preferred rigs for the guys at SARCO are the Thrustmasters. So a lot of the guys have this rig, and yeah, they enjoy using it. So thank you for the comments there. So yeah, Bruno, obviously he had a frozen screen, so he was a little bit tied up, had to break away in the qualification round, and we're glad to see him back because he's leading the race at the moment. 1:24 quick time there, 11th lap at the moment. So I'm sure they're going to be looking out to see when they need to put the cars and when they need to put themselves into a position and obviously maximize on that pit stop here this evening to see where they're going to be, and obviously give themselves some indication of how long they have to go until the end of the race. If they've picked up some dents and dabs during the way, maybe some of the guys will skip the repair, but I'm sure they're going to be trying to get in there and out of there as fast as possible. So as I mentioned, at the moment currently Bruno, then Marius, then Quicksilver, Dylan up to 4th place, and then obviously Ross, Colin, and then Ash, then we're looking at Mal, BA, and then Ice, and then we have Carlos, who's Turbo Charles, who is there. So yeah, we'll be looking to see what's actually taking place. One of the guys has been disconnected, so that's always one of the things that we expect to happen sometimes here in SA, but still we have 11 competitors in this race currently going for top position on this track this evening, and thoroughly enjoying bringing this to you from the South African racing community online. And remember what I said, just check out the Facebook page if you are interested in joining us. And we advocate clean racing here. So make sure that you are getting yourself involved if you're looking. Some nice stuff happening right now, going through at a heck of a speed. So obviously coming through now, we're starting to see lap number 13 and some really great racing taking place at the moment. We're on board with Marius, and Dylan's just pit, actually Quicksilver, he's just gone into the pit, so a bit of a strategy happening right now. And let's have a look. He's climbing into the pits. We'll stay on board with him a little bit just to see how much is going in and how much is going out. So that is taking place right now. Here he comes into the pit lane. Let's see what takes place, if we're going to see what they're going to be doing. I know from the side shot we are taking a sneak preview on what's actually happening. Let's see how fast they are on this. Slick's being changed. Yes, he's out and about and away. But it looks as though there is a bit of damage being repaired there. So yeah, there is a bit of a slight delay in him going out. So Quicksilver down right now to 8th spot. Ice just in front of him, and it might be that he is, yeah, here he comes out of the pits. So let's see if he comes out before we see Ice in position number 9. No, he's out and about, so no issues there. He does join the race. Remember, the other guys are still having to pit. They are going a little bit longer just to make sure, but let's see if they are going to pit here this evening. And then we can see the overall. There we go, Dylan into the pit lanes right now, so he's going to be pitting. And we've got Ross coming in as well, so very close racing from these two. They're obviously going to see who is going to be the quickest out of the pits right now. So I think it was first Ross went into the pits. We'll see who is going today. We're on lap number 14 right now, so let's have a look. Colin moved up into 3rd position right now at in car number 19. So we'll see exactly what his strategy is to stay out. We've got 3 guys in the pit right now. We have Ross, we have Dylan, and we have Ash in the pits. So they'll be seeing exactly what they're going to be doing. And let's see who comes out the pits first. Yes, it looks like Dylan is coming out of the pits. Let's see. Here is now Ross, and they're stopping right now into the pits. So Dylan has made it out just in time, just in front of let's see who that is. Yes, it's Quicksilver. He has just got past Dylan, who is now currently behind him on this particular track. Here they are. Here, remember the prior positioning there is I think a little bit worried there from Quicksilver. Obviously Mal has moved up to 4th place at the moment. I don't know, we'll see on that strategy if he's going to be able to go through. Obviously we have Colin's going into the pits, and now it's going to be more and more interesting. Marius out there, let's see at the moment. He's on 42 on the hards, so they will be wearing quite a lot, differently to any softs. They do obviously wear not as quick, but you still have to keep them on track. You still have to keep them in form, and you still have to carry on going down there. So lap number 15, here we are. Bruno, on with Bruno. Some nice racing from him this evening. Seems to be in control, as I mentioned, and it looks as though as I mentioned there, Colin has gone in, which is obviously moving the other guys up in positions there. Ice still out on the track, and he's going to be coming through right now. So Dylan in 5th place. It looks as though Quicksilver maintains that 3rd spot. So now it's the question of when does Bruno and Marius go into the pits. So we'll be watching that quite carefully and closely, because there is now some distance between them, and it might be that opportunity to get in quickly, get these the pit stop done, and then obviously go through. So there is that mandatory pit stop, so we'll see exactly what's taking place here this evening. So as I mentioned, here we go. Here comes Bruno into the pits at the moment, which has given Marius the top position. So let's see what effectively needs to take place here at the moment. And obviously it's quite interesting to see, is it going to be a quick pit stop, or are we going to see a little bit of repair work done on this particular vehicle at the moment? And we'll obviously keep ourselves peeled, our eyes peeled to actually what's taking place here this evening. A quick pit stop from Bruno, so not much to resolve there. I think a quick, good strategy from him. Let's see if he comes out and where he comes out, because Quicksilver obviously going to be making a break to try and get ahead. And I think that was Marius, who is now number 1. And number 2 is Bruno. Oh, off the track. I don't know if that was a tire element that created that. So let's obviously see what the situation is right now on that particular matter. That was not a good thing to see. Hopefully he's got that car together. I'm not too sure if that, but I don't think it was one of the leaders. It looked as though it was, but I do not believe that it is one of the top runners here this evening. So let's just keep an eye out on who is where and what position they're currently in, just to make clarification on that particular element of that incident we just saw a couple of seconds ago. So hopefully it is all okay and everybody is doing what they need to do. So yeah, I'll be pretty interested to check this one out. I'm looking now currently down the line. It still seems the top 3. Marius is taken the first spot in car number 6. Then we have Bruno. He is in car number 7. And then we have Quicksilver. Quicksilver in car 15. Seems to be no elements causing him any discomfort at the moment. We do obviously see pitting now is BA, so he's gone into the pits at the moment. So 30 litres of fuel left, and I see the tyres need to be stepped on to keep those nice and warm. Dylan is currently in 4th place, so he's come up the log quite nicely. I think this track has made a difference from him. A little bit on the curbs there, but seems to be controlling that car quite well. Ross closely following Dylan at the moment, so there looks to be some great racing going to come from those two at the moment, and nice to see some competitive racing taking place here at the South African racing community online. So great stuff happening right now amongst this lot. So great to see what's taking place here this evening. Ice looking to be in 6th spot. Yeah, Ice is in car number 17, so he seems to be doing quite fine and keeping himself quite occupied by holding that 6th spot. But it is now Bruno into the pits, and it looks as though sorry, not Bruno, Marius. I just want to see where Bruno is coming out. So car number 6, which is Marius, just coming out of there. Bruno seems to have taken the top spot now, and I think basically his objective is now to hold that top position in number 1. We were looking also where Quicksilver was, because we wanted to see how close he was on the tail of Marius. But it looks as though, yes, he has gained a number of seconds, but also at the same time, so has Dylan and so has Ross. So they are closely picking up on these guys. Finding exactly where they are is giving me a bit of a challenge, because I need to know where they are as compared to the other guys on the track. And you can see the close racing. Here is the Green Mamba Racing Team, closely followed by Ross there. He's doing a great job by sticking right behind Dylan at the moment. I just want to go right to the top of the log again, just to have a look where Bruno is leading this race at the moment. Turbo Charles hasn't given up. Had a big incident, a really big incident at the beginning of this race, which obviously has affected I think the overall performance of the guys this evening. So yeah, I think he's trying to maintain that position still for some points, because every point counts, guys. Every point in this championship counts, and you've got to make sure that you're there to bear the square here at the moment. You've got to make sure that you're on that in that top 10 to get those points. So if you're joining us right now, we are watching round number 2 of the RS01 challenge. If you're not up to date with who's done what, let me tell you, Turbo Charles is at the top of the leaderboard at the moment, running this championship, and I can tell you right now he has 65 points for this particular challenge. And then closely from Silverback Racing is Bruno, who's currently leading this race, which could give him the number of points to take the top spot, because he's sitting on 51 points at the moment. And then closely followed behind him is Doopy from Flat Rabbit Racing, and he is currently sitting in 42 at 42 points total. So some great racing happening here from the guys at the South African Racing Community Online, and good to see we're in lap number 21. So yeah, this is really great racing from these guys. Ross is actually in 4th place on the leaderboard at the moment, so that's going to be going down well for them. It looks as though we're going to be doing Dubai, the Autodrome GP track next week, so hopefully you'll join us, in 2 weeks time. So that's on the 25th of the 10th 2018, so join us for that. This will be definitely the RS series, RS01 series. These Renaults are super powered machines, and yeah, great driving. What we can do is take you on board, and let's have a look what it does look like in one of these vehicles. So you know, I can sort of have a look and see if we can put you in one of these cars. And if I look currently at this particular point, we can go on to see on one of these vehicles what it looks like to be on board with one of these cars, and just give you an indication of where they are. If we look at the bumper view as well as the bonnet view, we can see exactly where we are and how we are racing with these guys. If we're looking at more like a chase, that would be it there, but back to on board and see where we are. So we're currently on with Marius in 2nd place, and it looks like here's the cockpit drive, which I kind of like this view as well, because it gives you a good indication from a driver perspective of where these guys are looking at the line, making decisions just out in front of him. I mean, that's probably bringing all the excitement out in Marius at the moment, where you can see Bruno right in front of him and thinking, how can I catch this guy and maintain my position as well, not going off the track at all. So on board with Quicksilver. As you can see, a bit of damage there, but yeah, I think that's par for the course on this particular track. You can see the clouds coming over right now, so that's obviously going to be doing some wear there. Just in front now, we can see obviously Dylan catching up quite nicely, looking to make some space and then obviously deliver on that. And right behind him, guess who that is? That's Ross. Ross is looking also for a great opportunity, some great driving from all of these drivers here. A little bit off there, but yeah, these guys are doing what they need through start and finish. So yeah, looking to times. It looks as though we've gone into that overcast position, so this will change their driving strategy. Obviously the cars are going to get more oxygen, so they are going to be finding that the cars do start to increase on the power because of the amount of oxygen. And believe me, yes, this is a game, and yes, this can happen, and that's what makes this type of racing so great, is you can actually watch it all happening from here, from all perspectives of the cameras that are available to you and myself to have a look where these guys are. A little bit over the curb and coming through, but yeah, great racing from their side. And let's have a look quickly back on track, on the side of the track, watching these guys coming in. And it looks as though Dylan has got a slight offense there, so I think he might have taken a bit of a shortcut to get through, to try and get that distance closer, but has received a warning from the race director, so they'll be watching that as well. You could see how close this racing is right now, because here we go. Quicksilver in the car number 15, right behind him, Dylan from the Green Mambas, looking for an opportunity to take over third spot. Dylan here looking, and here let's have a look and see what's going on. Oh, pretty close. The tires are a little bit cool for Quicksilver. He's going to have to watch that, keep them warm. That's what he's got to do, because that's going to stabilize that car on this track and keep it going. And just watching this is actually so much fun. I'm sorry guys, I'm just holding my breath to see what's taking place here, but it looks as though Quicksilver is keeping the adversary behind him, so no issues there at the moment. I was looking to see if that was going to change at all, and it did not. So well done to Quicksilver, keeping Dylan at bay. And then just behind him, that is Dylan, that is Ross. Ross gaining a little bit, but I think he's just gone back there. You saw Ross into that last corner trying to get through there, and obviously see how it goes. But these guys do have some close racing coming toward at the moment. I want to see what's going down with these. Oh, here we go, somebody off the track. Let's see what takes place. I think these are the back markers at the moment. Yes, it is. It's Charles. He's had a torrid time with that car this evening. Obviously, I think right from the first bend where there was a bit of a to and fro and jumping in the air of certain cars, so there were quite a bit of damage taken from all these guys. I'm sure he's getting a bit of a blue flag there. Watch out, Maris. Keep that car on the track. Don't lose it. And let's see what's going down. I just want to keep an eye on this lot, because this is where the close racing is now. This is for third spot. We've got 3 cars trying to get into that. Oh no! Slightly whacked a bit there. That was not what was wanting to happen there. So Dylan got a little bit of a bump from Ross there. I don't think it was intentional at all. I think obviously what happened is Ross went through there thinking Dylan was going to go through there a little bit quicker than he was going, and then obviously there was a direct bamboozle in the back of that car. So hopefully that has not done as much damage as I think it may have done, and because obviously he will lose time, but it looks as though they are still maintaining that speed through start and finish. Here they go, and it looks as though no, they will maintain that. So we'll be watching these three still. I will keep you on lap 26 at the moment, so that is where we are at this stage of the race. There are a number of penalties being awarded, and as you can see in the red there on your screen, these guys are obviously going to be facing some wrath from the race director. So they're going to be told whether they're going to hold their position or go back. So there has been a bit of warnings given, and we'll see what takes place amongst the line. We're in lap 27 and still going strong in this RS01 lineup for this evening here in October. We're watching with bated breath who will take the top spot. Will it be Bruno? Will it be Marius? Or will it be Quicksilver? You know, the fat lady hasn't sung right now, so it could be engine failure, it could be a total wipeout. Not that I want any of that to happen, but you know, just to keep you informed that anything can happen. Anything can happen in this race. Hopefully Bruno maintains that first spot, and we are going clear. Yep, it looks as though we are going into lap number 28 in a couple of seconds time. Wind is still coming from the northeast. Totally going into a overcast condition at the moment, but it seems as though it is starting to clear up. So from that overcast into clear now, we seem to be moving. So yeah, some really great stuff from the guys, some great driving. What I can tell you is that Dylan has lost 4th place. However, Quicksilver is still in 3rd, so that's promising. Car number 15, Quicksilver, in 3rd spot at the moment. Ross looking to climb his way up there. It looks like Dylan down to 5th spot currently. So I don't know if that was the overall effect of that bumper bash that he received from Ross, but I'm sure it wasn't that much damage done. But we'll probably ask after the race and see exactly what happened there. And yeah, interesting stuff from the guys at the moment. Oh, a little bit off the track there, so I don't know what happened there, but obviously back into maintaining what's going on. And yeah, interesting stuff taking place down in the first 3 positions. We just want to have a look where they are, where they're situated. And as you can see right now, it is Bruno who takes the checkered flag here in Germany. And followed by Marius, followed by Quicksilver, followed by Ross, then Dylan, then Ice, then it. But we still have to see if there's any changes from those penalty situations. So it looks as though Ice, nice clean race from him, as well as Colin, nice clean race from him. There has been a couple of incidences from these guys, so let's have a look. Let's see what is going to happen right now. So the guys have come through, have sorted their way out, and are coming through. The race is almost done and dusted. 29 laps of racing here at the South African racing community online, and it's been great to watch, and we've really thoroughly enjoyed the situation as it unfolded. Unfortunate for the championship leader at the moment, Turbo Charles, had an incident into the first corner, which obviously put him way back down the race. But nice to see that he eventually has come in and finished the race overall. So guys, it's been a pleasure bringing you this race this evening. Hopefully you've enjoyed watching this. Hopefully you've enjoyed seeing all the action here with us on the South African racing community online.
Ross, great battle. But pity about that little nudge. I brake really early because Dirkie was quite slow going through there.
Yeah, sorry, I got you, man.
No, it's all good.
Charles, there by the start, I almost went into your arse. You didn't pull away or something happened.
There was a lot of lag in the start. I think my lag took Doopie out because he flew into the gravel right in front of me and I had 0 damage. I don't know.
Oh, because I pulled away and I almost went into it and I just went to the side of the... I think I nudged you on the side when I went past you.
No, nobody touched me because I had 0 damage.
I definitely touched you. I definitely touched you on your side. When I passed you, there was not any room. So I barely made it past you.
I only got damage on the 6th lap.
So as you can hear, some of the guys talking about the race at the moment and what's actually taken place.
Swing out and I've hit the wall a little bit.
Yeah, I had 10 cars hit me on the first lap.
Me and Bruno
I was a
little
I promise.
Fucking full bar damage from the first lap.
Jeez.
Lekker there, jockey.
Ja, Ash.
Put the end. It's a good battle there.
Well done, Dirkie, and the podium. What's the name?
Yes, Maurice, you stayed with me the whole time, eh? Sure.
Listen, our times were so similar that I could not close. The only times the gap stretch was when I made mistakes and then I make it back and then it just stays there. Yes, it stays there the whole race.